Hey guys, I just wanted to talk today about some of my childhood experiences, some of the good and not so good. Well, we had a discussion this morning on Facebook about back in the 80s and the 90s and how the TVs, the commercials, and all that stuff was. And I just want to tell this story about when I was about 10 years old. This was like in 1995. Well, of course, they had these shows and movies like Melrose Place and 90210, and these girls were gorgeous. So I would see these girls, and I would think that's what we're supposed to look like. They're flawless. They don't have any wrinkles, blemishes. They have perfect teeth. They have pouty lips that are glistening. They have beautiful eyelashes, makeup, the hair's done, everything, the nails. Gorgeous. Well, then I get my first whiff of Pamela Anderson on Baywatch. Oh my word. I see the hair, the boobs, the look, everything. And I think to myself, that's what they want. That's what kids in school want. I get bullied all the time because I'm poor and because I think I'm ugly and because I'm, kind of heavy and all this stuff. I'm constantly bullied by so many. So I'm going to change myself. I'm going to start looking like Pamela Anderson. I'm going to start looking like Tori Spelling. I'm going to look like, Cindy Crawford. I'm going to change everything about myself. So I'll finish the show and I decide, hey, I'm going to go steal some of my sister's makeup. I go in her bedroom. I dig around like a little rat plundering. And I plunder and I finally find the gold mine. It was the blue eyeshadow, the beige foundation, the mascara, the eyeliner, everything. The brightest red lipstick the girl had in the basket. Because back then we used baskets. We didn't have all these makeup cases. We had like an old basket. I probably got one. Hold that thought. Right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we had. We had the old basket, the makeup basket. We're just going to leave that right there. So all you guys can reminisce about the 80s and 90s. That's what we had. That's what we used. Old Faithful right there. Oh, Faithful. So anyways, I go in there and I'm rummaging around the basket and I'm looking for the beige foundations and I'm looking for the brightest eyeshadow I can find with all the cool colors because, the 90s. I find the highlighters and stuff. I have no idea what they're for. I still don't. And I find the almighty, the holy grail, the compact mirror. This thing was everything when I was a kid. Every girl had to have one. I even knew boys that had them. Where I grew up at, they really were mean to gay people. Men or women didn't matter. They were mean to you. So I didn't fit in well. I liked everyone. I liked men, women. I liked every race. I loved everything and everyone. So of course I was bullied a lot. And it just sucks. It just sucks to think back about stuff like that because so many of my good friends were bullied too. And they were some of the best people and still are. Anyways, found the makeup. I take a little bit of it and I'm like, I'll just hold on to it till in the morning. Well, my sister comes and she finds out. She takes her makeup back. And of course we fight and argue because that's what sisters do. She gets her makeup back. Well, the next morning, I wait till she gets on the bus. Soon as she leaves, I go back in her bedroom and I find the honey hole. And I get the compact, I get the eyeliner, I get the eyeshadow, I get the foundation, which was the brightest orange they made in 1995. I get everything. I go and paint my face up. And I have no idea what I'm doing because I've only seen my sisters and them do it, with her friends like several times. But I was always the baby, so I couldn't be involved. And I could barely crack the door open to see what was going on because, they were older. They didn't want to hang out with little old me. I was an annoying kid. What are y'all doing? Are you guys going to talk to me? Are y'all going to spend time with me? Are y'all going to play with me? I was 10. I was like, I wanted to play with somebody all the time. And of course, they didn't want that. Anyways, while I'm getting ready for school, parents are going to work. I got a hoodie because I was like, you know what? I'm going to surprise everybody. So I go in the bathroom. I put my eyeshadow on first. I put my lipstick on, put my foundation on. I coated the foundation on so thick. It wasn't even drying. Like when I went to school and got to school, it was still wet. I had it all the way down to here. I actually had my freckle covered. I remember that from I'm 35 now, and I still remember that. I had it all the way down to here. I had just globbed it all over me. It was all in my eyelashes and everything, my hair. I get to breakfast in the cafeteria. There was like a little boy that I liked, so me and my friend walk over. And mind you, my friend has not said anything. She didn't say nothing. She was like, "You're working that makeup, girl." And the way her makeup looked every day, I should have known something, but I didn't. I just went with it. So I walk up to him and I'm like, we'll call him Billy. I'm like, "Hey, Billy, how are you doing today?" And I'm doing all this stuff because Pam Anderson was doing it on Baywatch. You know, all the Tori Spelling, 90210, Melrose Place, these women, that's what they did. They always had like the batty eyes going and the lips poked out like batted and pouty, and you know, they had everything going on. So I walk up and I'm all flinging my hair around and doing my eyes like this and pouting my lips out. I got my nostrils flared out, and this is what I did for real. I'm not even bull jiving you. I'm all slinging my hair around. This is so crazy to think about. And he looks at me and he's like, "What did you do?" And I'm just like, "Oh, nothing. What did you do?" And he's like, "No, what did you do to your face?" I was like, "Oh, nothing. I just, I've been wearing makeup for a long time now." He's like, "I've never seen you wear makeup. Not this much anyways." And he was like 11, like a year older than me. And I'm like, "Do you like it?" And of course he's like super nice because we're friends. "Yeah, I love it. It looks great." This is one of those moments when you almost wish someone had told you the truth so you could wipe it off and not get bullied all day. But none of my friends did that. I only had like 2 friends, and neither one of them, had the balls to tell me the truth because we were all really good friends. And I loved him for it. So he was all like, "It looks good. You look great." And I'm just like melting because he doesn't even know I have a crush on him. I'm crushing so hard thinking, "Oh, it worked." I had to go through the rest of the day like this. So we leave breakfast. He goes to his class. I'm going to my class with my friend. And once I get in the classroom, I notice my teacher looks at me and she's even like, and like doing her eyes like this, squinting because I'm at the back of the class. And she's like, "Lily, can you come to the front for a minute?" So I walk to the front and she's like, "Would you like to go to the bathroom?" Not touch. I'm like, nah, it's good. She was like, "Well, you have a little something here and a little something here and right there and here." And I'm like, "Oh, just smearing it, wiping my face, smearing it." She was like, "Oh, just never mind, go sit down." I go sit down. I even noticed the lipstick on my hand where I had wiped my nose because I had snot coming out of my nose at one point, and I was like just wiping it. Sorry. But I just wiped it off of my pants because that's just how it was in 95. Anyways, my other friend, call him Grayson, he looks over and he's like, "Girl, who did your makeup this morning? Because that's crazy. You need to take that off. Go to the bathroom and wash that off." And I'm like, "Don't be mean. I worked really hard on this." And then my other friend, we'll call her Allie. Allie was like, "Get that, go to the bathroom and take it off. You look ridiculous. People are going to pick on you all day." And at this point, for some reason, I'm thinking they're jealous. Because him and her had hung out a lot, and like they had a lot of sleepovers because they were family and stuff. And I knew that like he would dabble in makeup, but he couldn't tell nobody except for me and her because living in North Carolina in 1995 was a hard time. Like I said before, people were very mean to you if you were effeminate in any way, if you liked makeup, if you were a boy who liked makeup or was, feminine, they were very mean to you. And I'm sure a lot of people can vouch when I say this. But anyways, he knew more about makeup. So he was like, "Go take that off." And I'm like, "Y'all are so jealous. Why are y'all so jealous? Why are y'all hating on me like this?" And she was like, "We're trying to help you. Go take the makeup off, crazy. Coming in damn 4th grade looking like this. Take it off." So, of course, I get mad. I'm 10. Yeah, 10. And I'm like, "I'm not taking it off. It looks banging." And we used the word banging back then, and the bomb. And I'm like, this is the bomb. I'm going to start doing this every day. And she was like, "I really hope you don't. Please don't." And so I get mad, and I go back, doing my work or whatever. Then it's lunchtime. Well, as we get to lunchtime, We have to go to lunch. We're like in fourth grade, I think, third or fourth grade, somewhere there. And we go to lunch with all these other grades, seventh, eighth grade. So the grades from fourth to eighth grade were in the lunchroom with our class. They're all in line. We're getting in line. And I notice people like this. And I'm like, they're laughing at somebody. I feel so bad for that person. Why are they always bullying people? And my friend is like, Alicia, go wipe this off. Lily Pat, go wipe this off right now. Go. And I'm like, they're not laughing at me. I look good. And she said, they are laughing at you. Go now. Go get that off your face. They're going to start bullying you again. Now, let me tell you, I just got done being bullied for like 2 months because of an incident where we're poor. We were poor. So we had hand-me-down clothes. I don't even want to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. Because I felt embarrassed by the outfit that I had to wear one particular day because it had holes in the shirt, holes in the pants, my shoes were falling apart. I had a friend of mine bring some clothes to school. Her name was KK. So KK brought me an outfit. Well, while we were in the bathroom exchanging clothes and I was getting dressed, one of the boys from another grade, would jump in the bathroom and like kick the stalls and run out. Well, when that boy came in, we were like exchanging shirts or whatever, and he was like, they're changing clothes in here, blah, blah, blah. What are they doing? And whenever they done that, the teacher come running in. The teacher was telling everybody out of here, blah, blah, blah. And then the teacher is like, why are y'all changing clothes? You just got to school. You should be dressed already. And I'm like, well, my shirt had a hole in it. I try to play it off. My shirt's got a hole in it. She brought me one. She tells us we have to put the clothes we had originally back on. So we do. My shoes had so much duct tape on the bottom holding the sole onto the shoe that they would flap and talk, and my toes would hang out of them. And my family worked very hard, so I can't blame. I never hold a grudge towards my family because they did everything they could do for us. This was the 90s. People were poor. We didn't have money to buy shoes every week, or every month, sometimes once a year. Well, anyways, we get back, and then we're going to the lunchroom. Yeah, that was a bad day. That's the day that they actually took my shoes off my feet and slung them up on the gate, the brick gating thing at the school, because they were covered in duct tape. So, back to the lunch line. She's like, they just stopped bullying you because of your duct tape shoes. Let's not let this happen again. Go wash it off. And at that school, there was something, I guess because we were such a small town, once they bullied you, then you were a target. And you were a target to like 10 different people in one group. And these kids seen my face. One boy comes walking up to me and he's like, I didn't know it was circus day at school. You came as a clown? A girl walks up, and she's like one of the cheerleaders, and she's like, please tell me your sister did not send you to school looking this way. And I'm like, no, I did it myself. And me being 10 years old, I'm not thinking like a 13, 14-year-old. I'm like, isn't the lipstick pretty? And she's like, well, it looks like you ate half of it. And then I just start laughing because I get nervous. I start laughing. And she's like pointing out, she's got lipstick in her teeth. She's been eating lipstick eater. And then it goes to 2 more girls walking up, and they're picking on me because my boobs, they knew I didn't have boobs. I was 10. I was flat-chested. That day, I had boobs because I had taken a bunch of tissue, packed it in, and made big boobs. So, of course, she takes her hand and, like, hits me on the boob, and it moves and drops. And I didn't have a proper bra for the fake boobs. The kind of bra that I had was, like, for a 10-year-old, like a sports bra, but without the spandex thing in it, so it was very loose. And when she popped it, the whole piece of tissue flew out the bottom to the floor. You can only imagine how bad it got from there. Then it was fake boobs, tissue boobs, everything kind of went to hell at that point. I run out the lunchroom to the bathroom. I'm scrubbing my face, pulling tissue out, bawling like a baby. My friend comes behind me. She's like, the teacher's on her way. They want to talk to you. I go to the office, and then, of course, the teacher starts trying to blame my parents. This is your parents. What's going on at home? Why would you come to school like this? You've never done this before. Why would you do this? And they're trying to blame my parents, saying that this is going on or that's going on. And I'm like, there's nothing going on at home. I seen a commercial. I felt like, like the kids at school they like to see these women on TV, like on these shows. So I was trying to basically look like one. And I called out, I think like Tori Spelling. I was like, she's so pretty, this and that, and the teacher just did not comprehend. She just kept saying something's going on at home. Your parents this, your parents that, and at that point I'm crying because I don't want them to call my parents. And I know it's coming. And during the 90s, you didn't want nobody calling your parents. You didn't, even if you was sick, you didn't call home. You did not want your mom and dad coming to the school. Just how it was. Well, she's like, make sure you get all that junk off of you. We're going to talk later. They sent me to the guidance counselor's class. His little room. I wouldn't call it a class because it was actually like a closet at our school. And I go into his little room, and he's just sitting there doing like this. And I'm like, what? What is it? Excuse me. He's like, now what would make you come to school today the way you appeared to be when you first got here? What forced you to want to do that this morning? I said, well, actually it started yesterday. I seen a commercial, and before I could even finish, he goes into, you're having trouble at home? Is something going on? Is your dad that, your mom that? And I'm like, no, what do you mean? And that's where a lot of things with people, with children, that's where a lot of things get implied by some teachers and guidance counselors, because they will try to put that in your head. Not all of them, I'm saying. This was in 95. But back then, they would kind of try to make you think that something was going on. But with me, it didn't work. I loved my family, and I knew I had a good family. And it just did not work. And I kept saying, no, my family ain't like that. No, I just seen a commercial. I've seen magazines. These women are so beautiful. I want to be beautiful like this. And he's like, so it's your self-image. Basically, you're trying to change the way you look. Why do you want to change the way you look? And I said, because all these girls that I see, all these women that I see on TV, and all these men, they look so beautiful. They got abs, they got nice teeth, they got nice hair, they got beautiful nails, makeup, all this stuff. Everything that I don't have. Their skin is like just flawless. They don't even have a wrinkle. And he looks at me and he says, hun, that's fake. It's camera tricks. And that's how he talked too. He would do that's camera tricks. It's fake. It's all fake. They use airbrush paint. They basically paint themselves. And I said, well, that's what I was trying to do this morning, but apparently it didn't work. And he said, you don't have to paint yourself. You are beautiful inside and out. Don't never try to change who you are. The whole, story about you're perfect the way you are, and all that stuff. And of course, me being 10, I'm just sitting here like this. That's great. And I don't understand why no one can't understand me and why I want to look that way. And for years, at least like 2 or 3 years, I wanted to be Cindy Crawford. I wanted to be Heather Locklear. Oh man, especially her. Pamela Anderson. I had the biggest crush on Pamela Anderson because I thought that was just beauty. That one person was beauty. Go away, fly. Jeez. And people they don't explain to you when you're young. They don't explain to you that that's fake. They don't explain to you that that's, implants or injections or makeup or airbrushing. They don't explain any of that to you when you're young. And it makes me wonder, nowadays, with everybody on social media, they use filters, all these apps to make themselves look like they're young, most of these people who are doing this stuff are trying to make their skin look like a baby skin. Like they have no wrinkles, no blemishes, no nothing. I can put this app on right now and make my face look so smooth. But I don't. And I don't judge anybody who does. But that's not reality. When I go to the store, nobody looks that way. Nobody looks like the way these filters make you look in all these pictures. I was watching a Sniper Wolf video recently and thinking to myself, everything is so smoothed out. From head to toe, smoothed out. And then I watch all these other influencers, and it's the same way. They even right here when they smile, there's no crease right there. They smile and there's no crease. It's just smoothed out. And I'm thinking, where is their crease at? Where is their lines at? You know? Because when I go to Walmart or Sam's or wherever I go, everybody that I see in person has wrinkles here, crease here, wrinkles here. But for our children and the youth, I'm afraid that they don't understand that. I'm afraid that they're going to be like I was, and they're going to think that it's normal to look like what we see on TV and like what we see on these phones, these videos. I'm scared that our youth is going to think that something is wrong with them because they don't look like the filters. You know, and it's scary. I seen a study the other day that was talking about how many people nowadays have an ED disorder and image like body dysmorphia. It's so many more nowadays because of these filters and these apps and like these celebrities who look flawless. You know, you can see a picture of like say J-Lo on Instagram and there's no wrinkles at all. But when you see her on the Today Show, you can see the wrinkles and stuff more. I don't know. I feel like when you're young, you think that's real, like I did. But it's not. Not for everybody. Not in like everyday regular life, it ain't real. You know, if you have a makeup artist on standby, I'm sure you can look that way all the time. But most people don't have a makeup artist on standby. I don't know.